Joe, thank you for being here at our State of the Region for Research Triangle Regional Partnership. We're really excited to have you here. Tell us a little bit about who you are and Delta and what's going on in the future here.
Well, thanks. It's a pleasure to be here. I always love getting back to Raleigh. I'm working in network planning, and so we're responsible for where we put our airplanes.
Great.
For the most part, where we grow. And so for our group, it's been a really challenging year to kind of figure out where our customers want to go and where travel demands are, because all of our normal supply and demand is kind of thrown off kilter with the pandemic. So we've really had to adapt in a very different way.
Yeah, being adaptive has been so creative, especially in the pre or post-pandemic world, depending on where you live.
Yeah.
But right now, we're trying to make sure that the industry continue to grow. I mean, we know that the airline industry has been hit the hardest, right, I believe, in many ways. Tell me more about how you all have worked your way through that process to continue to be in position to grow out of this.
Yeah, we've had to be very reactive to what customers want. And we weren't going to be successful by business as usual. So we really had to. The airline industry brought capacity down to the lowest levels we've ever seen. I mean, I think Delta was only flying about 250 round trips a day, almost bringing it down to essential service.
Wow.
And yeah, it was pretty amazing. And I don't think we ever thought that's where we would have had to go with this crisis. And then rebuilding has really been the most challenging part. And we've had to listen to our customers. It really was a very simplistic approach, I think, as to where people want to go. And it was turning into business was very quiet.
Yep.
It was much more of a leisure demand recovery and essential service. People still had to fly around the country and around the world.
Right.
And so our job was really to figure out how to supply those seats. And from our network, where we have a pretty vast network through the country and through the world, we at least had the ability to understand where people were booking. And safety was top of mind for everybody.
Yes.
And it came through as to how they wanted to travel. They didn't want to travel to big cities. People in big cities weren't traveling, like New York, and so we had to be very adaptive and nimble as to where to place our aircraft. Yeah.
So Joe, when we looked at this pandemic, it was really, it was pivotal in lots of spaces, and people had to change the way they did their business model. They had to create safety protocols to make sure people felt comfortable and also was safe. And we saw that Delta had put in some restrictions on how they're going to move forward for safety protocol. One, I'd like to hear around the safety protocol and what you've done, and want to hear more around, is this going to be something that's going to stay for a while, or you have this in your planned activity going forward?
The thing is not only safety, but really cleanliness and how people perceive, and do they feel safe in a clean way, right? So the things we've done early on in the process is, just little things, like when you get on a plane, you're provided hand wipes.
Oh, wow.
There's cleaning on every single turn. So we've actually put longer ground times in to clean planes between every single turn. When all the customers get off, it's clean. After that, it's clean before everybody gets back on.
Okay.
We block the middle seat. Those are the kinds of things that we really had to re-engineer the process with our customers. Cleaning sky clubs, plexiglass between customers, going to not putting food into bags versus open. So having to kind of re-engineer that process in every aspect of it, from when the consumer gets to the airport to when they arrive. How does everything impact that customer, and looking at that through their eyes.
Right.
And that's something that is going to continue to go for Delta.
Great.
So we're already incredibly safe. Safety is top of mind always at our company, but now it's going to be cleanliness as well.
So Joe, there's a lot of talk around how we're growing our community, and we're attracting companies to come to our community, and also attracting more airline service in the space. And so we talked about focus cities or places where you've made investments and commitment. Tell us why it's so important to have your business in this community.
Yeah, no, we use that term focus city, but it really comes down to our investment and our belief in the community, in the Raleigh-Durham market, and that's why we've invested over the years. We've pre-pandemic we had about 80 flights per day.
Yes.
In the Raleigh-Durham market, we're at about 50 returning for this summer, and that will go back up to 80 as the business community continues to come back. But the level of commitment that we had in Raleigh was one based on the building of the business community in the Raleigh Raleigh area, right, and of the state. And so that catches our attention because
Great.
when you guys are investing, we want to supply those passengers with seats, and we don't make markets, we supply them.
Right.
So it's a great partnership between Delta and the community for that build, and that makes us want to continue to invest. Because with the 80 flights per day here, nonstop service to Europe, continuing national service across the U.S., more service to our hubs, a commitment to New York and to Boston, and actually putting more larger airplanes into the Raleigh market as well, upgrading our airplanes to mainline. So I think the commitment from us will absolutely continue. Paris will come back.
Yeah.
And that's one of the more important things about a city like Raleigh is when we attach those cities to our hubs, not only in the U.S., but around the world, that really puts a big economic positive to the community, because now you're not just connecting to Europe through New York or through Boston or Atlanta, but you have also that nonstop service. And what happens when you land in Paris is you're able to connect to over 50 countries outside of Paris, and that's what makes it successful. Is our position in Raleigh-Durham, our investment then allows you to build even farther across the world.
So Joe, when we start looking at our community and our whole region, and we talked about the region really expands, not just in the center city of Research Triangle Park and Raleigh and Durham, Chapel Hill and Johnson County and all those spaces. We talk about a wider, broader swath of opportunity. When you start looking forward to the future, tell us more around what your thoughts are about our community and our region and what we can do to be helpful to make sure we continue to support your growth and your business model.
Yeah, well, what you guys already do in the region is our support. Your economic growth and your investments is the reasons that we thrive, and that's what we look for when we're entering markets. There's some places in the world that don't invest, and some do, and the ones that do invest and really make that economic engine move is the reason that we're successful. And so that's really what we're looking for. But you guys are already doing a great job by supporting us by just putting the infrastructure into the region. The airport's doing a great job, and the business community here and the school system here are all really things that thrive, and that's what we look for. So you guys are already doing a great job for us.
So as what I'm getting from this conversation is that as we continue to invest in our infrastructure and we see ourselves growing and thriving, Delta will continue to be a partner in investing in the community to expand and grow.
Absolutely.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you.